Chef Production. Got me like, don't wanna write this down, I wanna say it while I cite this now, so let me grab the mic. Don't wanna write this down, I wanna say it while I cite this now, so let me have the mic. I'm getting older, I'm no longer the young pro, so ain't no little kid gonna tell me I'm done for. And you ain't even worth it to rhyme to, just thought I'd go and leave a little note to remind you, in case you wanna stir the pot up, cause a little drama you don't really wanna battle. Lots of things you never thought of and never seen. You caught a line and became a fiend. My dope rhyme like amphetamine. You had a dream, the type to make you think you fought through. Who you think you are, you ain't too big to sock to. I kick one, I grab the mic and I spit some. Try to share the soul, laying low in my system. They say whatever, it just don't matter anymore. I know my future is destined to carry on. There's no baggage, it's heavy on. My shoulders are very strong, you know. Don't wanna write this down, I wanna say it while I cite this now, so let me grab the mic. Don't wanna write this down, I wanna say it while I cite this now, so let me have the mic. Don't wanna write this down, I wanna say it while I cite this now, so let me grab the mic. Don't wanna write this down, I wanna say it while I cite this now, so let me have the mic. It's just the same old motif, the heart never safe. Pretty girl's a cold thief, she got away. The way she move make you wanna stay. It's kinda smooth how she stalk and pray. I walk away, don't blame me if you see me look back though. She fit me to a Texas T, baby was black gold. And from my rap flow, I thought I had her, but I guess it didn't matter. She didn't think it was that dope. Leave the girl with the woe is me. Just another slideshow with my poetry. Picture me rolling in the 500, buying roses in the dozen for the lady.
What's up, Christian? What's going on? Christian likes chocolate too. That's good. We're going to talk about preference real quick here today. A short little live. Check out tonight. I'm going to try and stay up. Tonight we have scheduled the return of Ray Studios. So that's going to be going on midnight Eastern. I believe we scheduled it for midnight Eastern, 10 p.m. Mountain, 11 Central. And I'm gonna let Ray talk about whatever he wants to talk about. His channel got reactivated, and I believe he can get monetized again. So this is great news. I call Ray. He reminds me of a young Alex Jones. He was ahead of the game. We had that. I'm going to get into this preference talk in a second, but just promoting Ray coming on tonight. So hopefully that happens. I'm going to try to get a lot of coffee and stay up. I can't stay up late like I used to, but. So Ray Studios was ahead of the game. I don't know if you have back when the channel was, I think it was Middle Mag at the time. Ray and I did a live, one of our most negative feedback lives that we've ever done, where he was going through the different lists of people and saying, hey, these people could be feds or not. And one of the people he brought up was Tucker Carlson. And I didn't say he wasn't a Fed, but I did kind of push back and say, okay, what do we know? Where we not strongly, but just saying, hey, I don't know about this one. And that was back when I was more of a Tucker fan. And you fast forward to right now, and even though the facts are a little bit different than what Ray was getting at, his overall point has been proven correct. So I just say that Ray Studios is, I think he's underrated. He's underrated. Reminds me a little bit of a cross between Ian. Is it Ian Crossland? How did I forget Ian's last name already? Ian from Timcast. He's a cross to me between Ian from Timcast and Alex Jones, a young Alex Jones, and maybe even a little Shane Cashman. So I haven't seen his video yet, so we'll talk about it. But today we're gonna go at this just 20 minutes or so. This Caitlin Johnstone article, just the piece on racism. I found it very interesting. The racism piece. So I'm going to play a video, audio of the end of an article she did, and she highlighted this racism piece. I'm going to talk about it.
To be racist is to admit that you are a dull, vapid person. It's an admission that you are so intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually shallow that you can only enjoy and connect with other human beings in the most superficial of ways. There is no depth to you. There has been no growth in you. You are stunted. You have been wasting your time on this planet, instead of maturing and expanding your connectedness with the gift of human life. If you have been growing and maturing, your ability to delight in other people isn't limited by skin color, culture, language, national background, or religion. You understand that there are whole universes within us besides those few superficial differences, and we are able to connect with each other on all those various levels in a limitless number of ways. You don't fear and shun the differences of others. You take immense enjoyment in them. If you have not been growing and maturing, you lack the ability to enjoy and connect with people who are different from you and your family. You are unaware of the universes within you and within others, so you believe your ability to welcome others into your neighborhood is limited to the most surface-level aspects of them, like their skin color, their accent, the way they dress, or their religious beliefs. It's all you understand about yourself, so it's all you value in others. This is a symptom of a shallow, uninteresting life. Your mind is boring and superficial because you set up all these walls around it to stop it from growing. Your heart is hardened and cloistered because you set up barriers to keep people out. Your spirit is stagnant and impoverished because you placed too many limitations on its natural outpouring. You're still splashing around in the kiddie pool of the human condition. It's a waste of a human lifetime to live like this. Open yourself up. Soften your heart. Broaden your mind. Make connections. Delight in the myriad manifestations with which humanity can show up. There is just as much dazzling beauty in other humans as there is in the natural world. And if you can't see it, that's a defect in your own character. If you don't learn to grow beyond those limitations, you cut yourself off from unfathomable depths of the human experience that you could instead be taking great joy in. Don't waste your life on racism. Don't waste your life on Islamophobia, homophobia, transphobia, or any of the other crude ways we can cut ourselves off from the connectivity and appreciation that we are capable of. Deepen your roots and grow into a mature human being.
So that is the end of the article. And my thoughts on that are, this is where I've been saying the left and I, and probably the biggest reason you wouldn't call me a leftist, because I think every single person, progressive, left, liberal, would agree with that. And somebody stop me where I'm wrong, as always, and I will correct myself. But this is the position that almost defines if you are on the left or not. You see, there's a lot of overlap with people who would be viewed on the right and the left over certain topics in the world, including not caring about communism or socialism as any type of scary word or issue. The issue being deeper than that. The defining line between the right and the left is this take right here. Caitlin wrote it out so we can kind of analyze it. This is a spiritual take. This is a faith-based take. And many people on the left, they don't have any type of faith. Their moral foundation is not, at least when you look at even Zionists, their moral foundation is founded by basically the worship of people who wear small hats. And that's how they interpret the Bible. We talked about Ted Cruz. Tucker Carlson actually did a great job forcing Ted Cruz to talk about what his faith really is. And that's fine. If you want to do that, you can have whatever faith you want. My point is, at least they have a faith. What is Caitlin Johnstone's faith? And this is not to diss Caitlin Johnstone. A while back, I had a disagreement with her. She turned out to be more right than I was on China. I fully admitted that. Not that everything I said was wrong, but the overarching picture, I admit she was right on that. If I'm wrong here, I will change my take. I highly doubt that, because this is a faith-based take. The China take was not really everything I do is faith-based, but that wasn't a directly faith-based take. So if you're a Christian, let's look at racism from that lens. So when you say somebody is racist, are they sinful? What is the sin? If you look at that and break it down, there is no sin here. It's a preference. The concerns that people have potentially with racism that come out of it, again, I talked about it. I was on with Revolutionary Change with Peter Hager, and he said, well, I'm concerned of these people on the right becoming violent. That's not racism. That's a whole different topic. If I like chocolate ice cream and somebody else likes vanilla, there is no violence there. If someone likes any flavor of ice cream and then says, I want to be violent because of it, that is a separate conversation. They convolute everything. So I'm going to go through this kind of again here. To be racist is admit that you are a dull, vapid person. Okay, what does that mean? Don't care. It's an admission that you are also so intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually shallow that you can only enjoy and connect with other human beings in the most superficial of ways. That is a misnomer. And this is why we have to talk to each other. I don't know who she's getting. And that's why we need to be specific. Who are you talking about? And let's talk about what that really means. Because racism, saying I have a preference for blacks, whites, whatever group that you want, she actually even put in the way people dress. How did that come up? That came up later, the clothes they wear. What does that have to do with racism? She said, you are unaware of the universe within you and within others, so you believe your ability to welcome others into your neighborhood is limited to the most surface level aspects of them, like skin color, their accents, the way they dress. The way they dress or their religious beliefs. What is that? What is this? This is racism now? Having a preference on, I don't like how this person is, I don't prefer the clothes that they wear. People who wear these clothes, I don't want them in my business. I don't want them in my neighborhood. You might have seen these stories. There was one that my wife sent me that there was this black woman on Spirit Airlines and she's wearing booty shorts. They're not even booty shorts. It's almost like a swimsuit type, almost like a bottom to a two-piece swimsuit. And they said, nah, we good. We don't want you on this plane right now. Go put on some clothes. And then she acts like a victim. Is that racism now? That's how they view it. The preference. She says, there's no depth to you. There's been no growth in you. You are stunted. You've been wasting your time on this planet instead of maturing and expanding your connectedness with the human gift of life. And I argue in reverse that Caitlin this is basically projection. I am no Christian expert, never claimed to be, obviously. But we are all created in the image of God. And obviously, I don't look like an Asian. So let's just stop there, Caitlin, or anybody else. Do you not see with your own eyes that there is a difference? I'm waiting for somebody to counter my take on there's no difference between breeds of dogs. Dogs are different. A husky is not the same as a pit bull. A chihuahua is not the same as a golden. You can mix them, but let's just talk about them in the purebred form. We're all mixed to some extent. But let's just talk them in the purest of forms. Nobody denies that. But when we come to human beings, why are we denying that? This is part of God's plan. We are created in God's image. So for Caitlin Johnstone, and I don't think she believes in God, definitely not in the way that I do, but you see why I say it's faith-based. There's no problem with that. That is beautiful. The take does not have to be, oh, you have this trait, you are negative. That does not have to be the trait, the take. And nobody is perfect. None. No race, ethnic group, or anybody is perfect. But if you can't see that there are genetic differences, then you are lying to yourselves. And in this clip, I'm going to show you, when we talk about this, generally speaking, you can have this take and acknowledge that everybody in the group isn't the same. Every pit bull is not, they might be bred to be just stone cold, just basically unlivers of life, just dogs that are pure lean muscle that you can argue are dangerous. Is every pit bull like that? No. But let's check in on the Jew.
Tell you something. The Jews are chosen. We, the Jewish people, are chosen. I know a lot of people get upset when I say that. It's in the Torah. I didn't make this up. If I made it up, you think I would be podcasting right now? If I was this brilliant to be the one that said the Jews are chosen, you think I would be podcasting right now? I'd be sitting, owning buildings somewhere. It's in the Torah. The Jews are the chosen people. I didn't make it up. There's plenty of other people, namely Hashem, that you could take it up with. The Jews are chosen, but we're not perfect.
That is true.
No one ever said the Jews are perfect. Most importantly, the Jews never said that we are perfect. Why we are held to unattainable standards of perfection more than any other race, religion, in the history of race religions is beyond me. We're chosen, but we're not perfect. We'll be the first to tell you, we ain't perfect. Israel ain't perfect. And we never said we were, and Israel never said it was.
No, we can agree on that part.
To have the privilege to stand with the Jew is a tremendous honor.
And that's for you, YouTube. I think the privilege to stand next to the Jew like this here is I want to make sure that it's clear that my thoughts are it's a tremendous honor.
To have the privilege to stand with the Jew is a tremendous honor.
Caitlin Johnstone has the position that it's okay for the Jew to say these things, to do these things, to have these acts. They aren't considered racist because they have the influence and power to call Caitlin Johnstone racist and bigoted. And her article here on racism actually strengthens their argument. There is no counterpoint to the Israel-Jew conversation, and keep this in mind, Caitlin Johnstone does not name the Jew in that conflict. There are some on the left who are doing it, but this is the problem with your stance on race and then naming the Jew. The only way to counter the standpoint is to say there's nothing wrong with racism. That is an instinct, it's a human instinct to know, oh, when I see a horse, the horse is fast, the horse can do this, they can do that. A horse can't have a broken leg or they're done. These type of things. It is not racist to notice that and have an opinion on it. Whether it is factually based or not is irrelevant. If I say Asians are good at math, I don't care about the facts or opinions. I could have that opinion. There is nothing wrong with it. You can call it racist. That's fine. But there's nothing wrong with that opinion. If you do not have that stance, then you agree with anti-Semitism. She's killing her own argument here, destroying herself, because she cannot admit it's okay to be bigoted. There's nothing wrong to be Archie Bunker. As long as you're not violent. See, different topic. Violating somebody else's rights is a whole completely different topic than racism. They try to conflate the two. Here's what the left does as well. They turn it into a power discussion. And I'll end it with this here, just to give you the side that I think that they're on. They believe that to be racist is not just a preference, it is a power dynamic. And let me find, someone replied to me with a perfectly honest take that represents what I'm talking about perfectly. So Alyssa replied to me and said, because I said there's absolutely, my whole sentence was, this is my theory of, this is the thesis of this live. There's absolutely nothing wrong with racism. So Elisa replies and says, in my opinion, yes, there is. Racism is more than just being prejudiced or bigoted. It comes with power and privilege over other groups of people. Again, completely different topic. You see how they just change it to a completely different topic? Power exists. If you wipe racism off the face of the planet, there is still power and privilege. It does, you can't, other than heaven, which they don't believe in. I don't know Alyssa's position, but largely speaking, this side does not really believe in that. Outside of utopia or heaven, there's always power and privilege. Nature is an ecosystem of power. One group eats the other group, and that sustains the whole system. And humans are not immune from that. I think it's perfectly fine to try to fight within that system to have power. That's why I believe Christians that align with my view of Christianity, I would prefer them to have more power. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually natural. It's actually politics. So somebody says, imagine a kid's seesaw on the playground. Power stays up, others stay down. That's what happens. What's your point? What does that have to do with racism? Someone's always going to have a preference of, I want to have my friends, or I want this group in power, or that group in power. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. That's life. Due to low birth rates and race mixing, people are afraid of losing their power. What's wrong with that? Yeah, that's true. There are some people like that. What's wrong with that? I've never in my life heard someone who likes chocolate ice cream or chocolate people and says, I would prefer to marry or be with other chocolate ice cream or chocolate people or blacks. I've never, ever in my life heard that person criticized. Never. I've literally never heard it. A black saying, oh, I want to marry a black. Never heard anyone criticize that. An Asian who says, I want to marry an Asian. I've never heard anyone criticize that. Jews obviously do that or convert. No problem with that. What this person is saying here is whites can't do that. And they don't even separate whites from Jews, which is a whole separate problem. Hey, I get it. Who wants to be powerless, right? What the left does is this passive-aggressive emotional pull because they obviously want to be in this power dynamic. They don't have faith, and they want to justify their belief that their preference on just their preferences, their form of racism should prevail. And the right has no problem with that. At least the right that I'm kind of following now. Maybe not the whole right. I don't know. But there's more people on the right. I mean, I don't know how MAGA can disagree with this. Trump is being very, trying to amount power. I've never criticized him for that. I criticize him for what he's using the power for. Remember, I've talked about my ideal society is libertarian. I don't care about that. That's a utopia. What matters is the faith of the people in charge. I don't care if that's communism, socialism, fascism, a mixture. It doesn't matter. If the people in charge don't share my faith, then the system is trash. It doesn't matter if it's representative republic, democracy, whatever it is. So they want their form of government. They want their preferences. They want to be racist. You saw the reply to me was clearly, they're replying. I said there's nothing wrong to be racist. And they replied to me with racism. And my next reply, and I'll just do it now, is just say, you're a racist and there's nothing wrong with that. That's my reply to them. You're a racist and there's nothing wrong with that. I'll look at the chat real quick, see what's going on a Sunday, and I will be out. Appreciate anybody stopping by to the humble abode of Index Red now. I'll get the website going in a little bit. Where are the black Jews? It's a good question. I'm not, you got to go to Hotep, Jesus, and them for that. I'm not an expert in the black Jew argument. What is a Jew? I mean, these people who call themselves Jews are not biblical Jews. Let's make sure we have that straight. So what are they? It's a country club. So you can be a black and get in, but you got to get in. Officer Tatum sounds like he's trying to get in. A lot of these Christians, they're trying to get in the group. They know they will never get in the country club, but they're like, maybe we can get on the lawn. Or let me stay on the lawn so I don't lose my platform. But being Jewish is just a country club. You don't have to be ethnically Jewish to be Jewish. Donald Trump's daughter is converted to Judaism. People convert all the time. They're not ethnically, genetically Jewish. So what is it? It's just you got to get to, I don't know what, you got to talk to the right rabbi. I don't know. Maybe you could be a black Jew. When I think of a chosen people, I think black. That's perfectly legit to have. I'm more biblical. That's not, to me, that's not biblical. I don't know if you're a Christian or not. But no one is chosen if they have not accepted Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. That's what Christ as King means to me. Is a Jew a human being or separate? Where are we going? I don't know, man. I don't know. They seem to separate themselves from the rest of humans, so that's a legit take. What do I believe and what do you believe? Because I think we all need to talk. I'm just reading through the comments here. Power is in whatever or whoever can cause death. Ooh, that's a bar. We need to put that in. That's like a Chino XL bar. I like that. That's true. Or Razcash. Power is in whatever or whoever can cause death. That is a great definition of power. That is a great definition of power. It's just a bar. I don't know what, I can't say anything else to that. I think that is the definition of power. I don't know if I can find a more core definition of power. I have to reconcile that with faith, but yeah. Black man is fair. I like talking with the blacks like this, though. You see this very interesting takes. I don't have a lot of beef with I don't know, I'm not saying what you are, black man is fair, but I have had clashes with the FBAs and the ADOS, the descendants of slaves. They clash with each other, but I've had some clashes with them, but I like chatting with them. They keep it real. They're pretty authentic. They do not name the Jew, though. That's for sure. They know who not to talk to talk about and who not to talk about. They do not. And when you start asking them, like, wait a second, they're different than whites. They don't like that either. So that's where my biggest problem is with them. But this black man is fair is having a legit conversation here. But I have no problem talking with them. I said, well, we just extracted what we needed from the system and brought it back to a home base, but we stayed black and stayed ourselves to a community. Well, then, black man is fair. I have no problem with that. That's a legit comment. I don't think I have. Well, my only disagreement is has there been a conscious move to do that, or is it just because of black failure? Because of black failure, the blacks are just regulated in the worst parts of the country, right? Or am I wrong? Most of the blacks are regulated. Most of the blacks live off of the government. They work. I just saw an article where black women, the unemployment's going up because the public sector isn't hiring as many. Like, why are you tied into the public sector like that? So it paid off of not just blacks, but looking at blacks, government paid money. It's just that's black failure. Black excellence would be putting together a community like that group of whites that are doing it in the South. I forget the guy's name. I support them. I support blacks doing that, saying we're going to go out to the country, or what are we going to do? We're going to start our own community, and it's blacks only. Based. That's not what's happening. What's happening is babies being born in the worst areas of this country and high schoolers who can't read. That's not black excellence. So maybe I don't know. I'm just taking your comment and going to where I'm going with it. Maybe I'm off, but that's my take on that. Okay, I can't read all the comments, so I'll skip some of them. Even I can't read all the comments. I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I can read that one. Okay, we have black people and picking cotton jokes on a Sunday morning. Y'all going to church yet? I don't know. I definitely could on Rumble. I don't know what YouTube does with it. YouTube's been, they just basically de-rank you now. That's why I always thought, like, why are they pulling videos when they can just shadow ban your video? It's just weird. I think they've been doing more of that than, pulling videos and banning them. Well, life to us is a success. We don't get into the power structure of white supremacy. Wait, what? That's a contradiction, bro. And the white ran system, we never made a power move to take over. Okay, so we need to, that's why it's good for us to talk. You can help me out and I can help you out. Life to us is a success. Why? How? Because it's not, blacks in America are not living through Christ. That's for damn sure. Many. Obviously there are some, but many are not. So how are we defining success? Many can't read. I don't know what we're defining as success and excellence. Then you say we don't get into the power structure of white supremacy. Hold up, bro. White supremacy is a power structure. And I even, people I like Nick Fuentes and others use the word Jewish supremacy. I don't like that a term. I don't know what that means. I think there's a disproportionate amount of Jews, and it's not even just Jews. It's non-Christians that share my view on Christianity in power. So everyone who doesn't share that is a problem for me. But if you're talking about white supremacy, then you've just resigned that you are weak in this power structure. So you do get into it. You've just resigned that you're not going to do it. And when you say white supremacy, you have to separate white from Jew. Those are two different things. Jews do not view themselves as white. Israel is a ethno state. It's a nationalist ethno state for Jews, not whites. Greg Lucas says, black man's fair. You can't say none of about the nation of Islam. Once I learned slavery, I understood what white was. That's not, yeah, we got a lot. I don't want to get too, have to get out of here. Slavery is not a white thing. If slavery was not a white or black thing. Just looking through the comments here. Blame Clinton and Bush for no children left behind. So many immigrants and black people through DEI getting ahead when we had laws placed against us by women for cheap housing. Blame Clinton and Bush for no children left behind. So many immigrants and black people through DEI getting ahead. Yeah, I guess I would agree with that. But I think the core problem is blacks have to admit the Civil Rights Act was bad for blacks. You have to kind of start there. If we can't agree on that, then we're not going to agree on anything going forward. And it's disgusting that it's taught otherwise in school. Just absolutely disgusting. That's the true argument, not the transgender and all that kind of stuff. I used to talk about that a lot. No. The true argument is the right to segregate. Absolutely. Absolutely is the core problem. What's long? Okay. I can't read any of Mandingo's posts, I don't think. I don't want to be caught on a clip reading his posts either. Okay, I'm out. Before y'all tripping. I have no one to blame but myself. I take full responsibility, but I'm out, y'all.
doing fine. I'ma find some peace of mind. Remember December, November, September. The sun reminds me when we were fine. When we were fine. Change, change. Would you want me to change, change? Would you want me to? I want you to touch me. I want you to hurt me. I want you to turn me on. Could you really need me? Could you really see me? Could this feel wrong? Would you want me to change, change? Would you want me to? Would you want me to?
Turn it up. New SV. Raise it up. 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 Raise it up.
I ain't about shit, nope. What me, dog? I don't floss, nope. I ain't that nigga JD, You ain't never see me ballin' out at the bar, right? I don't rock my ice and bounce foreign cars, and my Rover ain't the hardest Rover you ever seen. That ain't a TV screen, it ain't sitting on 18s, dog. I ain't gaining no green.